Okay. All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. And I don't know how the weather is where you all are, but we're moving into autumn here. Sorry, particularly marked by, amazingly, little baby pumpkins are popping up everywhere all over the stores. I don't know if that's what's happening in your place, but I'm like, it's still September. But anyway, so it seems to signal autumn. But the days are shorter for sure, and it's hot in the daytime here, but it's definitely cooler in the afternoon around 4 o'clock, and it's quite cold in the mornings. So there's been a shift. So we are moving through some kind of transition phase. So it's good to allow the body to catch up with that a bit. You know, we've been racing around through summer. Most of us have experienced a fairly hot summer. So we're now transitioning into moving towards winter. So if you're feeling a little bit out of sorts, it could be just something to do with this transition that we're now moving into. I mean, there's many transitions we have in our life, but we are now definitely moving into autumn. So let's just try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. So whether you've been rushing around, whether you've been relaxing today, whether you're at work, whether you've just finished dinner, whatever it is you're doing, just try for this next half hour, 25 minutes. Just practice is for yourself. This is for you, something you're doing for yourself, to nurture yourself. So if you are sitting at a desk with your feet down on the ground, just make sure they're in a parallel position, maybe about a foot's width apart, hips width apart, and your sits bones are raised, maybe a couple of inches, 2 to 4 inches. Some people need 6, just whatever's comfortable for you. The shoulders are aligned with the hips. You can have your hands in the meditation mudra, so the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. But if that's not super comfortable for you, just have your hands resting on your lap. So imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you're just lengthening your spine, releasing any tension along the back, and imagine someone is very gently pulling that string upwards. So you're putting some space in between those vertebrae. And the head is very slightly tipped forward. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. And if the eyes were open, there would be a spot about 2 inches ahead that you'd be looking at. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And just relax the jaw. And just bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes. And move your attention to the back of the eye. Relax all the muscles around there, and particularly if you are wearing corrective lenses. Relax the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And then bring your attention to the back of the head. Relax the scalp there, particularly around the occipital bone. Relax the ears, the inner ear, the temples, and the jaw. And the back of the tongue. And any tension in the back of the neck, just try and release that. And relax the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat, and the chest, and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And just bring the mind to the breath. Just noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling And exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. And notice what's drawing your mind away, what's pulling your mind away. And just allow those sounds to fade into the background. As you bring your mind back to the breath. And now see if you can notice what's arising in the mind. So are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling busy? And try and put some space in between those thoughts. And try not to judge what's going on in your mind. So, or follow a story, or make up a story. So just allow what's going on in the mind to flow without you grasping at it. And you can imagine perhaps you're like some kind of objective observer, just curious about what's there in the mind, just allowing it without criticism. And then we just put ourselves on the bank of this river. Watch the river flow on by without getting swept away or entangled. And then we're free from the river. So let's just bring to mind some people of our life. And Mary, I've just seen your message. I will turn the machine off shortly. Oh, it's just stopped. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. I'm doing some washing before I leave. All right. The washing machine's not too far from where we are. So bring to mind all these people of your life. So start with the ones you love. Your spouses and your children and your best friends. You may be parents and siblings, relatives, school friends. You know, these people you have constructive relationships with. Maybe they're not maybe they're not relatives. Maybe they're other people. You have other types of family. So just bring them to your mind. And that brings a sense of warmth to your heart, these people. And then there's people in our lives who we have a little bit of difficulty with. And we tend to push them away. And then there are those people who are complete strangers to us. Maybe we see them 6, 7, 20 times in our life, and that's all. We don't even realize. People we pass on the freeway. And just think that even though we only really love and care for those people in our life who we love, really it would be good if we could have equal concern for everyone. Because the friend, the enemy, and the stranger, they're actually equal. They're the same as you and me in their wish to be happy, their wish to avoid suffering, and their wish, and this incredible capacity they have for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings. And I think I will turn the washing machine off if you will excuse me for 1 minute. I think it's going to be a bit distracting. Okay, that dealt with that. So, just remember, there is no negativity that can't be purified. So we create negativity with our mind. So we're going to create positivity with our mind this evening instead. We're going to counteract it. So in this particular practice, there are 4 stages. They call it the 4 opponent powers. Opponent, because they're opposing our delusions 4 different ways. So first is the power of regret. So this is not guilt. This is a sort of sense of regret. Also implies that you want to do something about it, doesn't it? So we bring to mind, think sincerely from the depths of your heart, anything you've done to harm any sentient being in this life. Maybe you can bring a particular person to mind. People, sentient beings. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of future sufferings that we ourselves will experience. So logically it makes sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And we also regret our delusions, so our anger and attachment and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, okay, so what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we regard as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not asking Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for some higher power to come along and just kind of make a clean slate. We're doing this work ourselves. So we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. It's like medicine for us. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher if you have one. Lama, sometimes people call them their Lama or their Guru or their just trusted mentor or spiritual friend, however you think of them, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of this brilliant, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And he's facing the same way as you. And although born out of mud, this lotus is untainted by that mud. So just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. In his sweet red mouth, his hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood to develop all, to benefit all sentient beings. So this section a little bit on developing compassion. We need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing some level of compassion for them. So think firstly of someone you have harmed, and just try and think of them to be, a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then think of someone who's harmed you, though it may be a little bit more difficult. Just develop in your heart a wish for them to be free from suffering, because the suffering they've caused you is going to manifest as suffering for them in the future. And the timing is never convenient. We never know when it's going to ripen. So just think like that. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the benefit of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming from a hose or from a waterfall, very forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. I mean, it's so simple. So next is the purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends this powerful nectar from his heart chakra and arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows quite powerfully and disappears into space. And you just imagine that any kind of gossip or harsh speech or useless speech and careless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya, Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so completely happy. Your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. This arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just like when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. It's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment, grasping, depression, anxiety, neediness, and jealousy and bitterness and grudges and all these things we have going on in our head, instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the cause of our own suffering, the source of our own suffering, and why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think now, there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So we just kind of like an extra clean out here. So imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and if you wish you can do just a couple of mantras each for the visualizations we've just done, of body, speech and mind, or just imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. So it's a very subtle level here. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mepiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Maya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So really try and feel that. So next is the fourth step, the power of resolve. So this kind of backs on from regret, where we actually make a decision. We decide we're going to work on something that's harmful to ourselves and others, some habit that we have. So we make a decision that we don't want to harm. The fact that you've even turned up tonight indicates that might be the case. So that perhaps there's something you do with your speech that's harmful, or maybe you eat too many chocolate chip cookies, or maybe you overindulge in ice cream, or whatever it is your thing is that ends up being harmful for you because you've overdone it. I think maybe I'll just refrain from doing that thing for speech, maybe gossiping, 8 hours overnight while I'm sleeping. So make a promise to ourselves, not like a vow. So I'm not going to do this thing for 30 seconds or 1 second or 5 minutes, or I'll work on it intermittently through the day for 30 seconds at a time. So whatever it is that works for you. So just one simple little thing. Make it really easy, don't make it too hard. And then you'll succeed. This is amazing. This determination to try to not do something again is what gives us courage to change. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. So Lama Yeshe's words, union, oneness. It's very interesting English. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. So think In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So this way we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And perhaps you can think, the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so a little prayer for His Holiness's long life, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, excuse me, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. Excuse me. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab there in Santa Fe, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, I do apologize. We're 6 minutes over because I was doing too much blah blah in the beginning. Thank you very much for your attention. So lovely to see you all, and I hope Diane and Alex, you'll come again. I will be back on the 21st of October, but you never know, I might pop in when I can. I'll try and pop in and join you guys. So I'll see what I can do. But anyway, lots of love. Thank you very much for all your attention and your support, and take care. Sleep well. I'm going to see some of you tomorrow morning, right? Maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Diane, we have a 7 a.m. what is it? What are you? Mountain time.
Mountain time.
6 a.m. California.
7. Yeah, 6 in California.
6 a.m. my time.
Yes. But what time is it in Nepal?
Oh, it'll be in the evening. Yeah. Anyway, I think Venerable Dundra might be leading those, so I don't want to intrude. So he'll. Anyway, okay, everybody. Lots of love, sweet dreams, good night, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning.
Much love, Venerable.